Boom! How's it going? Welcome. Hey, it is ITJ, and welcome to M5 Property Addicts, where we talk about anything and everything around property. And if you've never been here before, boom! How's it going? And if you've been here before and this is your second, third time, good to be having you around. And in today's topic, we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Someone hit me with a message saying to me that, hey, I find good deals, but I'm married in a community of property, and my partner doesn't want to sign. So with that type of a contract in terms of marriage, the banks kind of like see you as one, and for that reason, both of you needs to be signing. And we want actually to just talk about how can this person actually navigate this problem. But if you're here for the first time, or you've been here for a while and you haven't subscribed, and if this is exciting news for you or things that you enjoy listening to, I suggest you need to hit that subscribe button. And from time to time, I always say to people, hey, you need to share this with others out there. We never know who we might be helping, because when I started off in debt, almost 5 million under, and I've written a book called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul in 2 years, and property has been the space actually where I've managed to find my financial freedom. So I don't work for anybody now. I kind of like all my properties are just giving me a passive income. So if this is something that excites you, you want to subscribe and to continue to share with others so that we can get more people to be enjoying this. If I am not doing what I'm doing now, I write books. And if I'm not doing that, I am doing property itself, which is buying properties for rental purposes, buying and hold. Let's get into it. And today I've got a fascinating question, but very serious. Fascinating, very serious to a point that it can bring you to a halt in terms of your property journey. And I've seen this in a lot of people. I am fortunate that I am not in that space. So yeah, but it is a crippling position. But before I go further, I want to hear, where are you watching us from? In the comments there, tell me where you are watching us from. I would like to know where you are. All right. I am married in community of property, and my partner doesn't want to sign for the finance. Oof. Yeah. What should I do? Yeah. Right. I think that's the question there, right? So I am going to ask you the same question, and out of your experience, my question to you is that what would you respond? So as I speak and give my sort of recommendation, I want to find out from you, what would you have recommended for them to do? This individual here, they are finding good deals. And I did say that I am married, by the way, ping, ping, right? But I am not married in community of property. Now, we all know that there is many marriages, many contracts of getting married out there. If you didn't know, I would suggest that go out and research. Go out and research. It is important that, when you're getting married, you know what kind of a contract you're going into. That's the first thing that I want to cover. The second part that I then want to cover up is that I think the contract is a contract. We can't do anything around that right now because you are in it already, right? But I almost want to come back to say to the individual is that let us look at it from another angle. Let's look at it from another angle. You are married to the person that you're married to, and this person here sounds like they could be risk averse. That's number one. Or they are not educated. Yeah. Okay. So that's the other point that I would like to raise. Those 2 points, for me, those 2 points are pretty important. And then the third thing is that from a relationship perspective, relationships are pretty dynamic in nature, right? And I want to ask the question to say, when you ask them to sign here, were they in the know that they need to be signing this? Were they even in the know that you are looking for deals? Were they even in the know that they can get some benefits out of this? I don't know right now. So we're going to just to talk about this in general so that we can get educated. So today it's a fun day. we get to have a little bit of fun and talk about this. And let's jump into talking about this particular challenge. And I think there's lots of people that are faced within this challenge. The first thing that I want to address here is that the contract is not an issue. In my view, the contract is not an issue. I think the issue here is between a husband and wife. I think the issue is between a husband and wife. Well, we could be saying, you could say, hey, TJ, but why are you saying that? My thinking there is that, you know, when you are married, right, we all come with our ho-hos, or should I say, we all come with our baggage in the closets. And this comes from a point when we were being brought up. When we were brought up, we were all in different circumstances of finances. We were raised with different parents. Some of us were raised with single parents. Some were raised with no parents. So the way we have, the manner in which we have a relationship with money is very different. And when we now get married, it also takes a long time for actually us to have a three-way relationship. And when I'm saying three-way relationship, yeah, it's no longer the threesome that I'm talking about. But this is the threesome of having money, you and your partner, right? And this is a solid threesome in my view, for the fact that when you are looking at a threesome like that, you almost want to say, how do I understand money? That's the first thing. And how does my partner understand money? And collectively, where are we? Do we have money? So after you have said that, then the next thing you then want to say, between the three of us, right, the money being another object, between the three of us and between me and my partner, who's the best fit person to manage the money? Because sometimes and I'm going to speak here from a dude's perspective, some of the dudes will be like, yeah, you know, I'm a man, I'm the one who needs to manage the money. Yes, yes, yes. But if you're not financially savvy and your wife is, you are much better off just giving your money to yourself. I remember back in the days, I used to have an uncle who used to tell me that, you know what, I get paid and all my money goes to my wife, and she manages everything. Why? Because he wasn't savvy, right? Financially savvy. That's the problem there, right? But could he have taught himself? I think so. But he didn't want to do that. I'm of the view that he was lazy to learn, right? Now, let's come back to the situation here. You are married. This person here is finding good deals, and they're saying that they want to close them. But now, because contractually the way they are married, they're not able to close them. And I am addressing not the contract here. I am addressing the relationship, because if we address the relationship, the contract, to me, it doesn't matter. Okay. So we've just addressed the fact that how do we perceive money between ourselves and between ourselves and the money, the threesome that I'm talking about. And now all of a sudden, we now want to go into another space where we say, the time that you're spending in educating yourself, is your partner also alongside you? And you would have seen that for me, I am always learning with my business partner and my bed partner. For most of you have seen me in classes and things like that. When I'm learning, I'm with my wife and I'm with my business partner. I'm with my bed partner, business partner. Why am I doing that? It is because when you go out there and you get educated, what happens is that we all learn differently. Some people are right brain, some people are left brain, some people are neutral brain, and some people are no brain, right? And when we are in there, we start learning things differently. We start learning things differently. And by the time we come back home or into the business, we start now talking about our learning experience. And within that, we start learning again, right? Because if you're a left brain and the other partner is a right brain, which normally happens in many relationships. And in that case, because now you have more time to dissect this, and you can now be able to understand this, so that way you're learning again, right? Then the other point that I want to address here is that the fact that you are not learning together, it means that from a risk perspective, the other partner is seeing so much risk, and where is because you're now being educated, you're not seeing the risk. And for that reason, they are potentially going to say no, because they are seeing the risk, even though you're going to try to massage them and say to them that, convince them to say, look, this deal makes sense. It's not going to make sense to them because they're still seeing the risk. So being on the drawing board, talking about it is not going to help you, because when you're out there and the third party is teaching you, at that moment or in that time, you receive things differently. And because it is a third party who's teaching you, you can both receive it. So what can you do? It sounds like this person here is actually in a relationship already, and it sounds like they're already married, and it sounds like there's already a deal on the table. Well, my gut feel is that that deal, it's going to fly away. You need to address a couple of things. The first one that I would like to highlight is, number one, you want to address the fact that you are not aligned with your partner, with your bed partner. And if you are married in community of property, it's extremely important that you are aligned with your bed partner. What do I mean by that? Where are your finances? You want to be knowing each other. Where are you? The second thing you want to know is, where are you taking your investments journey as a husband and wife? I want to stress the fact that when you are married, right, you can't live two separate lives. You can't live two separate lives. You can't live a life where you have your money and you have their money and then you got the house money. If you're in a journey of, let's say, you're trying to build this portfolio thingy that we're always talking about, the passive income, it's a family relationship with the properties, right? Because the properties are not going to start today. They're going to start today, but they're going to be there for a long, long time. Property investment is not one of those things that you do today and then tomorrow you're done. You could start earning profit, yes, in day one, but the reality is that in some cases, good profit, really, you now start getting it into years later in. So how are you dealing with that relationship so that your partner surely understands where you are standing and why you are choosing property to be a space where you want to get into in terms of financial freedom? Okay, so we spoke about alignment. That's very important. We spoke about where are we financially. I earn 10,000, my partner earns 50,000. How are we spending that money in our household? And how are we preparing? Because now when you're going to borrow some money, the bank is going to see you as one entity, because you're married in community of property, right? What's yours is yours and what's mine is yours, right? In ANC, I always say to my wife is, what's hers is mine and what's mine is mine, right? That's our internal joke in the house. But I want to stress the fact that when you are now in this position, right, where you now know financially where you are, the third thing that you want to do, and I don't know how I can stress this, but this is the most important part. You want to get educated together. You want to get educated together. Getting educated together doesn't necessarily mean going out there attending seminars and things like that. It's one of the important parts. But right now, for instance, I've got group coaching coming through. Bring them in. Or maybe they don't want to be brought in. Great, no problem. What you can do there is very simple. Just play the group coaching loud in the house, right? And pretend as if the headphones are not working, and obviously they're going to hear it, they're going to get intrigued, they will get interested, right? That's one sneaky way. The other sneaky way is that you can buy them a book on their birthday. Like my birthday is coming up on tomorrow. Buy them a book about real estate, about anything. I've got a book from bed debt to Property Mogul in 2 years. Maybe buy them that. But find something that they like to associate with, that you can give them, that gives you the edge for them to be interested in. Watch a program on TV. Maybe they like to watch TV. Watch a program on TV together that talks about property investments. Have open discussions. Have open discussions about why you like property. Take them for a drive. Take them on an outing to go and see a property, right? Make them aware that you actually understand what you are doing. so that they can gain confidence in you, so that they can give you the keys to manage that part of the business in your household, right? If those things are not there, even though when you have the contract, and if it's not there, you're going to have problems in your household because you are running on one angle and the other partner is running on one angle. More something like, for instance, you have money that's on the table, the other one is going to spend that money whilst you are earmarking that money for buying, maybe paying for your property. So you're thinking this very, very different. So what I'm basically trying to say here is that at any given time, what you're wanting to do is that you want to have an open discussion, open conversation with your partner, almost said with your wife. You want to have an open discussion with your partner on what is it that you're trying to do. Maybe those could be difficult conversations in the beginning, but you want to have them. Maybe it could be challenging. So bring in a third party. Go in and listen to this, what we are doing here. Listen to YouTubes together. There's plenty of them. Listen to podcasts together. In other words, all I'm saying is that get to have their attention. If you get to have their attention, some of the ladies out there, you already know how to get your men's attention in all sorts of ways. I suggest that use every resources available to get that man's attention. If it is the man, well, if it's a brother, good. I mean, you got married to her, so which means that at least she believes in you. If she believes in you, there is a way that you can get her attention to start, signing on those dotted lines. Then start small when you are now starting. So you have now gone through the hurdles of being aligned, right? And together now you are now believing that it can be done. Together now you can now see that, oh yes, we can make this. Then you start small, because if you don't start small, what is going to happen is that you might have what is called a shocker, right? So it's a shock of a deal. It's shocking you. You have never done a deal before, and you're going into the big things. Both of you are shocked now, and the "I told you this won't work" starts kicking in, and you don't want to be in that position. All right. Okay. So I am hoping that this has given us some value. If it has given you some value in terms of where we are, remember this individual, they are finding deals, and out of the deals, they are able actually to buy them. Financially, they're saying that they're good to buy them, but their bed partner is not willing to get involved. And they were asking, how can you help me? And for me, I didn't want to speak about the contract, because there's many things that we can talk about the contract. There's many other structures that we can talk about it. But for me, that's not the important part. The important part is that property is a family business, and you want to do it together and be aligned together and learn together, remove the risk together, and enjoy the money together, enjoy the process together. Yeah, so it's a togetherness there. Hey, it's been TJ. I'm hoping that this has been of good value. If you've got a different way in which that we can manage this one, in the comments there, tell me what is your thought.